All right, guys, so today we are going to work with nuts and bolts. All right, so we're just doing the basics today. Just so you know, there's a lot of calculations you need to do to get the measurements and things like that. So make sure you have a calculator, you need your compass, and you need both your triangle set squares. Okay, so the first thing is, remember with orthographic projection, which is what's happening here in this case, if you have three views, what that means is that you have already a top view, which is this one. So looking at it from the top, looking at it from the front, and looking at it from the right. All right, so what that means is this is, for example, a bolt, or a nut, sorry. This is a nut, this is the bolt. Okay, it won't fit into each other, but anyway, all I wanted to show you is in this case, they want you to draw this from the top, from the side, or from the front, and okay. Now, because it's orthographic projection, what that means is you are going to project all your measurements. So once we have this top view first, that's the most difficult part. Once you have the top view, all you can do is project down, and then everything will fit and match. Okay, so your measurements will then be accurate. So I'm going to show you now how to do that. All right, but that's the basic orthographics, right? And then you have a 45-degree angle here, this line. This is to help project. So you need to draw this in your right top corner, okay? Because let's say you have all the measurements here. It's all good and well if you can project it downwards, but how are you going to get the measurements for this one? All right, so what you need to do is you're going to project everything to this line. All right, like that, and like that, exactly. And then you take it down. Okay, so this is why it's important to have the 45-degree line to help you with your projections. All right, and it needs to match up exactly. Mine is a little bit off there, but it's okay for now. All right, so that is the important thing. And the distances between this, all right, and this is 5 millimeters, and this side is 5 millimeters. So what that means in reality is it's going to be 1 centimeter or 10 millimeters apart from each other, and here as well. It's important to have your distances exactly the same everywhere, because if one of them's off, your projections won't work out. Okay, first thing that we're going to do, read the instructions. All right, it's very important because sometimes they won't even give you, well, in this case, they don't give you measurements for your bolt. Okay, you need to figure it out. Okay, so in this case, it says the given figures show the top view, front view, and right view of an M20 hexagon nut. Draw it to a scale 1 to 2 the following views of the nut and the bolt. Okay, but the bolt we'll do later. Now, the first thing is the top view, front view, right view, and indicate all calculations. The calculations you just write here in the corner in a neat manner. All right. Now, the thing is, I'm not going to use scale 1 to 2, otherwise it's too small. But what I am going to use is this M20. This is a type of nut that we're going to use. Now the M20 you're going to use for everything. Okay, so first things first. The first step is you're going to draw a circle, okay, using this starting point that they gave you. Now to work out this measurement, you take the M20, all right, and then you multiply that with 1,5. Okay, so first things first, we're going to say 1,5. Okay, multiply with M20. Okay, and that is 30. So that's going to be my diameter of this blue one. All right, so let me get a highlighter. I use color coding for when I practice. Okay, there we go. All right, so compass, put your compass on 15 because remember, you want radius, not diameter. Sharp point where they meet, and like so. Okay, next step. This angle, all right, is 60 degrees. Okay, so you take this triangle, take your pencil, and in construction lines, you're going to draw your hexagon. Right. Remember, it should be construction lines. I'm just doing it darker for the camera. Okay, and there we go. Now you can make it darker once you have your actual hexagon and everything matches up. That's the important part. It needs to match up. Okay, now that I have this, my bolt, okay, my nut, sorry, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my projections now. Okay, so let me just get the focus. Okay, now I'm going to do my projection. So basically, remember, it's 10 millimeters. Okay, 10 millimeters. And 5. Okay, take your 45 degrees. Okay, then you project. Okay, and now you project down as well. Okay, now to get this measurement, the height of my bolt, your nuts in your bolt will have different types of measurements. Okay, but basically for that height, you are going to take 0,8, okay, multiply with M20 equals, okay, 16. That is your height. So then you measure it. Project it because it's going to be the same measurement for this one. Okay, now what I like to do next is, you see the corners here, these two corners, okay, you're going to start making a diamond. Okay, so compass, your triangle, your 60-degree triangle, take it, draw it down, construction lines. Same on the other side. So basically from this corner all the way down. Okay, and then you do the same with this corner that you just drew. Okay. Okay, so now when you look at it on their intersections where they overlap, that's where you're going to put your compass. So firstly, sharp point on where they overlap, change your compass width to where it touches the top. Sharp point on where they touch, and you are going to draw with your compass the first bolt, well, the first side of the arc, the first arc. Okay, do the other arc as well. Sharp point there, pencil from the one side to the next. Okay, like that. All right, then with the big triangle, the bottom of your diamond, sharp point there, pencil going to be at the top line here. Okay, all right, the highest point that you can go. Remember, you don't overlap, and you start where the other two arcs end. And you'll see my arcs are not matching up exactly. All right, it's because something went wrong with my projections. Okay, anyway, let's continue. Draw the outline of your drawing. Last thing, just make the lines more clear around the corners of your hexagon, like so. All right, there you go. There's your first and your second perspective done. Let's do the final one. The final one's very, very similar. All right, so again, take your sharp point of your pencil, put it your 60 degrees on the corner there, let them cross. And then you do the same for this one, okay? The second line as well. Now, the reason I'm choosing these lines is because remember I projected these corners, and when you look at it, okay, if my bolt looks like this, all right, and if I turn it, it's like this, but now I want to see this. All right, so these are the two lines that I'm projecting, and we want to get these arcs that you see here. Okay, so turn your 60 degrees and draw your angles correctly. There we go, like so. And then again, you take your compass, take your sharp point where they intersect, your pencil at the highest point, like so. All right, and you just draw. Like so. Okay, all right. So you'll see if you don't project properly, then nothing is going to line up properly, and then you lose more marks. Okay. And there you go. There is your nut that we just drew. Okay. You'll see there is a little circle there. That circle, I don't want to skip it, but this circle, okay, is basically the number you find after the M. So in this case, it's 20. Okay. So that's interesting how a bolt, by just using the one measurement, you can calculate everything. If the inside of my nut is 20 millimeters, the outside of my bolt is also going to be 20 millimeters, meaning this part. Okay, so we're going to draw this now. All right. Now, if they give you again, the circular motion and everything, you calculate it just like you did with the other one. So in this case, it says it's 20 again. So what you do, once again, you need to show your calculations. It's 1,5 multiply with M20 equals 30. Diameter. Okay, so that circle is going to be 20. All right. Then the next part is going to be, once we've drawn the hexagon and we project it down, this height, okay? Now, the important thing is you need to know the difference between a nut and a bolt, okay? Bolt, nut, their width will be different. Okay, so whereas with a nut, it is 0,8 to get the height. With a bolt, it is 0,7 multiply. Okay, so again, calculation 0,7 multiply M20 equals millimeters. So that's 14. That part is 14. Okay, now the measurement here. Sometimes they won't give you the measurement here. I'm just going to teach you how to calculate it already. Okay, the measurement 2 multiply M20 equals 40. All right, that's for the pink part. And then for the yellow part, 0,1 multiply M20 equals 2. All right, so now that we've done that, let's get going. So firstly, I want to draw my circle. My diameters, remember in this case I say scale 1 to 2, but I'm just going to make it 1 to 1. Okay, so here we go. There is my diameter. I want the radius, right? So it's 15. Compass, put it on 15. Then you put your circle. All right. Pencil, get your hexagon, construction lines, then tangent lines on the sides. There we go. Okay, so there we go. That's a little bit off. I'm just going to make it a bit higher. There we go. Okay, there we go. Right, so top view is done. Now let's do the front view. Okay, so remember my height is 0,7, so it's 14 millimeters. I like to get my outlines first. Compass, sharp point. I'm going to do the inside this time first. Highest point. Oh, what's going on with my pens? Okay. Sharp point, highest point. Okay. Remember to draw it from the one line to the next. And now, sharp point. Make your compass smaller. Highest point as well. That's not going to work. Now you just darken your lines. Okay. And where I messed up, I need to erase that and fix that. Okay, so now that we've done that, I'm just going to quickly project from the one to the next. And remember to get the sides, okay, you need to make sure that you multiply it with 0,1. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to say 2. I need to be very accurate with these. And then you take your 45, and all you do is from this corner to the side, make it darker, same on this side, okay, and then remember we said 40, so work out 40 up. Okay, and now the angles that's going up here, all right, those are 60 degrees. Okay, so you take a 60-degree triangle and you take it up. Like so. Ooh, that is so bad. Okay. Right, then you take everything down and make it darker. Sit down. Great, understand me very clearly. If you carry on talking, we're going to have a big problem. You do realize it's the last period of the day. I can make the period longer. Where the hell are you guys? Sit down.